to be quite a surprise. All right, this one's going to be quite a surprise. So I got to pull this down. All right, we're going to pop this person up right here. And it is none other than the gentleman. The gentleman. That's man number 3. All right. So the gentleman. There he is. The gentleman. So at some point, a man's going to realize, well, I'm not a Chad or Tyrone. Okay? I didn't get it easily. The player pickup thing is not my thing. I don't like to hang out till 2 in the morning. But what I can do is show potentially what you believe or the woman believe is my softer side. A man with sensitivity.
What's the difference between being a man and a gentleman? I was asked this question by another TikToker. Her name is Crystal Luster, who I'm not following, and I'm going to answer that question for her. Let's go. Simply being a man is similar to being a grizzly bear. You wake up hungry and aroused, and you go out and hunt for food. And then after you eat, what are you doing next? You're trying to get it in. You're hunting for sex. And after you have sex, you roar real loud. You fight other grizzly bears to defend your territory. You beat your chest 5 or 6 good times. And the cycle repeats. Now, being a gentleman is much harder for men with the grizzly bear type of mentality. Now, why is that? Because they see it as a weakness and a non-masculine trait. This is because the other grizzly bears might call him a teddy bear if he does something like, I don't know, respect a woman's boundaries. But it takes a leadership mentality to be a gentleman. Because a high-value male, he ain't going to be moved by another man's opinion of him for simply being a decent human being. Period.
Welcome, my friends, to the RP experience. My brothers, my sisters, and this video is going to be another entry into the different types of men. Before we get started, hit the like button and subscribe and share. Give you a second to do that, and thanks. Anyway, today's show is going to be about the gentleman, and once again, tag team with Coach Greg Adams. This is where I fit in, but I wasn't here originally. I was kind of in another form, but it is a form that a lot of men, except maybe the Chad the Tyrone, has been before, and is the simp, and I believe it's different levels to this, because of course people, they have this picture of the real geeky guy, goofy, or something like that, but this can be even guys that don't look like that, that's still just bent over backwards for women, usually for no reason. And I believe this comes from a lot of, I'm talking about the simps, but this is not about them yet, but I believe they come from the single mom thing, well, also the Pookie and Ray Rays can come from the single moms too, but the simps can definitely come from there, because a lot of women, when they are raising their sons, they well, it's natural for the kid to look at their mom as a power figure, and the problem is when there's no dad, there is no male role model. So, you're just going to see the female. And while it gives you certain advantages that you will be able to relate better with women, you're also going to definitely pick up some simp tendencies, because you will understand your mom when she was like crying or emotional or stressed out, and you definitely pick up this people pleasing type of mentality or something, you know. Yeah, because I can see that in myself for some of my past actions, you know, that I did. But anyway, I wonder if I should just get right into that video right now, because I don't want to be talking too long. But anyway, I made the transition into the gentleman form. But, you know, now seeing the whole picture thing, I can see why sometime women will look at me in sometime a bad way. So anyway, I'm going to let him start with the video.
If you're on college campus and you got 10 bodies as a female, dude's gonna be like, what?
And that's you.
But that's just how men think. But what's odd is that's just our biology. You know, we want to pass our genes on to someone to ensure that our genetics is passed on, not another man's sperm. I mean, this is just biology. It's just competition between men and our nature. Now, you can be mad at it, but we can also be mad that you flip out. Some of you guys flip out when you're on your biological cycle. But sometimes we just gonna have to accept you flipping out and being crampy and irritable and gassy and bloated. What can we do about it? That's you.
And that's you.
Alright, accept our biology, we'll accept yours. Charles Jones, hi, I love Funny, says 80% kick out men through the state. As a result, they raise emotional chimpanzees. Then the next crop of women asks, where did all the men go? Rinse and repeat. Yeah, well, there's one thing that we're leaving out here. And there's the thing that why women avoid the final form of man. We're going to get to that. And it takes them years, and ladies, I hope you're listening to this. When we get to the final form of man, you're going to realize why you've avoided this final form. You're going to realize why you did it, and I'm going to tell you why you avoided it. All right, I'll tell you about yourself. All right, Mike Deco, he says, what's up, coach? Dropping off some tribute for your breakdown and walkthrough of knowledge. Been busy adding upgrades to my truck so I can see better at night. Missed another member stream, but caught the replay. Free agent for life. Shout out to you. Thank you, man, for being here and representing. Have fun with the truck, man. That's the best thing about trucks. You can modify them like crazy. That's why I got my truck. Archie Bunker. What's the next form of man? What's the next form of man that women create? All right? This one's going to be quite a surprise. All right, this one's going to be quite a surprise. So I got to pull this down. All right, we're going to pop this person up right here. And it is none other than the gentleman. The gentleman. That's man number 3. All right. So the gentleman. There he is. The gentleman. So at some point, a man's going to realize, well, I'm not a Chad or Tyrone. Okay? I didn't get it easily. The player pickup thing is not my thing. I don't like to hang out till 2 in the morning. But what I can do is show potentially what you believe or the woman believe is my softer side. A man with sensitivity. I need a man, or she needs a man with sensitivity. A man like me. Someone who can love you. Someone who will need you. Someone who will treat you right, like me, girl. Someone you can hold at night. Someone stable in your life. Baby, you need a man with sensitivity. And so the guy says, wow, this is a lane for me. I'm not Chad. I'm not Tyrone. I'm not bad. I'm not a player. I'm not that type of guy. I'm not that bad of a guy. I don't want to be like those pickup artist guys that the women end up hating after pumping them. What I'll do is, instead of high numbers and high failure rate, what I'll do is I'll capitalize on their instinct for love. All right, their desire for love and wanting and cuddling and all of these things there. I can be that guy, and all I have to do is make a couple of adjustments. I have to just line my hair, get my hair lined up. I have to put on a smile, maybe get a little bit of a suit, maybe get my, instead of the silk shirt, the silk loud shirt, I'll get a nice dress shirt. All right, you know what I mean? And I'll put a suit on. All right, yeah, man. And a lot of times a gentleman defines themselves by how women validate their behavior. A woman might say she wants a gentleman after a couple of years.
And that's you.
Now, by the time the gentleman gets the woman, she has already ran through Chad Tyrone and possibly a player and a pickup artist. All right, so she's escalating to the gentleman. Some women will say that they want a gentleman. I want an Idris Elba, and this woman's a straggle-daggle. She's nowhere near qualifying for a gentleman, but she'll say she wants a gentleman. Why? Because she's tired. She's exhausted.
And that's you.
And she finally wants a loving man. And this man figures out, well, if I can act like I love them, then I might be able to get them. But what a gentleman does is, make no mistake about it, a gentleman is not a simp. A gentleman is not a simp, make no mistake about it. This is a strategy he's using to basically to use his characteristics that better suit him, because he's not Chad or Tyrone or the player. All right? He's never going to be that. So he's using his characteristics. He's not putting a false facade out, but it is not a genuine facade. All right? You see what I mean? It's somewhere in the middle. All right? So the characteristics of a gentleman: he's sincere. He's as close to who he is as he possibly can be without trying to be Chad or Tyrone or a PUA. See, a PUA gets his ass knocked out at the club, all right? And then he has to become the gentleman after he get knocked out once or twice. And he's like, okay, I can't be this no more. I skipped the man, but I'm going to come back to him. He's sincere. He has integrity. He's mysterious. He's sensitive. He's dark. He's cultured. He has he's charismatic, and he's charming. So these are all good characteristics of somebody who's confident and all of that type of stuff, right? And he realizes what's going to work for him, so he takes this angle. You'll see a lot of guys do this on Instagram. I did it at one point, where you would reserve yourself as the gentleman. I'm going to be different than these other guys. I'm different than these other guys. And you can exhibit it. If you have enough money, you can exhibit it. And so the gentleman, many times, instead of doing what the Chad Tyrone does, which is slay anything, instead of doing what the player in the PUA does, which is slay anything, the gentleman is a little bit more discreet. Ultimately, in his final form of gentlemanless, he's getting high quality women. He's getting what people will constitute or consider as high quality. But he's not getting a lot of them. He may get a lot of them, but he's not showing that he has a lot of them. See, a player will talk about all the broads he's getting. The gentleman might not do it. He might whisper it. Yeah, you know, I had this nice, wonderful girl in New York. Nice long legs, in shape, no gun.
Yeah, flexing the body count is not really my thing. You know, and truthfully, I prefer quality over quantity anyway. So, you know, someone could have been with a guy, could have been with 500 women, but if they're all like trashy girls, I'm like, you know, and that's the thing that men don't really think about, that I covered in a video about, does body count matter? And you know, I believe two different things go on here. I believe that with women, y'all can get imprinted or not spoiled, but y'all will get like, okay, let's say you as a woman was with a rich guy and you went to mansions and on trips and and traveled all over the world. The next guy you date is levels below him and cannot do that. Now, not to say that some women may not be able to transition and be like, hey, all that stuff doesn't matter. I just want a guy that loves me and gets me and stuff like that. But most of you, after having that life, you will struggle to be able to be happy. I mean, you could be for a little while, but you would not be able to be happy with that guy that's maybe making $100,000 a year instead of a guy that might have like $5, $10, $50 million or something. And he took you basically on a vacation practically every day, and you was on shopping sprees and stuff like that. You know, I would think, unless if the woman is like really grounded, that she could not date a guy less than that, because now she's experienced that right there. Now, unless if she gets a lot older, and maybe that may not matter, or maybe if she has like a bunch of her own money. But you know, once again, a lot of women don't like dating down. So you know, I'm pretty sure that can happen sometimes, but that's not the norm. So I believe that applies also with physicality. You know, if you was with a guy that was 6'5", you know, 220 pounds of muscle, was blowing your back out, you will have a hard time probably being with a guy that's a lot shorter, you know, not as endowed in, you know. But who knows? I could be wrong here. Like, women will have to tell me. But usually when I see women date a certain type of guy, you know, they usually will date a similar type of guy. They don't normally go less than that guy that they was with. If they go less with money, they definitely will not go less with his physicality. If they go less with physicality, they're definitely not going to go less with money. So anyway, let him continue this.
Long legs, in shape, no gunt, no sogginess, no nothing. Okay, so he's getting high quality on this stuff. But the gentleman's very close to a player, very very close, and women will find that out. So they think they're getting a gentleman, but they'll find out he's close to a player. They find out he's a womanizer. They'll find out he has available options. And they'll want to lock down the gentleman because he exhibits very close to husband behavior. He does love. He does cuddle. He does make time for them. He does listen to their rambling. He does listen to it. He makes time. He takes time away from his job. He often loses himself sometimes. Okay, so the Casanova, the James Bond, in the rock and roll world, the gentleman would be a Mick Jagger, and I'm going to tell you that. I'm going to give you an idea of why I say that, because let's see if I can scroll this all the way down and go over. Here's a gentleman, representation of a gentleman here. This is the most interesting man in the world. Like I said, the gentleman is culture. He'll know more than hip hop. You'll try to twerk, a low quality woman will twerk her ass in front of a gentleman, and he'll embarrass her. They're like, get your ass out of here. No, we don't do that here. You can't come. The gentleman was the guy in Houston at the restaurant in which those big Buffalo straggle daggles got on and twerked on the table, and he came in there and said, we don't do that in this establishment. That would be a gentleman. All right. So he's trying to say, listen, that might entice a Chad or Tyrone. That might entice players and PUAs, but we don't have any of those here. We have gentlemen here. We have class here. And so he's not going to respond positively to that. He might do it in a private setting, but not in public. And so what I was telling you earlier about the Mick Jagger. Mick Jagger was a talented man. You can somebody say he might have been he was definitely not a Chad. He presented himself to women as a gentleman. Now you saw him rocking and rolling, but when he was with women and he got top models, top choice, they always said, we knew he had other women, but when I was with him, it felt like I was the only woman in the world. We knew that was Dallas. Sorry, it wasn't Houston, it was Dallas. We knew he had other women, but when I was with him, he made me feel like I was the only woman in the world. That's what a gentleman does. See, the gentleman ain't trying to keep his rotation in line because the other women know if he's not with me, he's probably with another woman, so I'm not going to distract him. And then the woman senses that. He doesn't have to play games and go to the bathroom, hide on his phone, hide text messages, what you do. He's not playing that. When he's with his woman, he's got many of them because the gentleman will have a lot of them. She's the only woman that matters. So Jagger was like that. Mick Jagger was like that. And the women who were models knew that, and they've said that. They were like, hey, shit, it is what it is. We knew he had all the girls, but when he treated me like this guy was sending them roses. Of course you can afford it. Roses, champagne, bottles of wine. He would toast them. When he was with them, he showed them the world.
Wow. Yeah, I guess that's how some women see me as a player. I mean, I guess I have that kind of energy to a degree, and I do know a lot of women. I mean, the one difference I would say is because I've had my heart broke before, I really wouldn't want to be like messing with a bunch of women or something like that, but he's accurate with like when I'm with that woman, that's the woman I'm with, I mean, I've never had any of them say like they felt like they wasn't the only one or something like that, and what was something else that he said on there? He said, the player thing. Oh, that's the one thing. I mean, I do have a little thing with bad girls, only because I guess they're fun and they're sexual. But, however, I do like women that can bounce that off with class too, and that's always like a thing. Like females that don't have no class, they're like loud. They're like, I'm trying not to use ghetto because whenever you use that word is always pit on one nationality. Even though, truthfully though, I seen Spanish girls that can be ghetto. I can see white girls that can be ghetto. I mean, any nationality except maybe Asian. I mean, I'm pretty sure they can, but I've never met one that was like ghetto. Like, that's like complete like turn off for me. And I might like the person, and then they start doing that, and then it's kind of like, But at the same time, I try not to judge people. So try not to judge people. So that's why I separate it as, maybe it's not somebody I would want to date or definitely marry, but we can be friends or hang out or something. But they will have to curb that behavior. And however, I think since people like to fake a certain way, especially when they like somebody, that would probably come out once they have me. Like, we're married or something, or we're like engaged and living together, and I can't just leave or something. But anyway, let him continue.
We knew that was Dallas. Sorry, it wasn't Houston, it was Dallas. We knew he had other women, but when I was with him, he made me feel like I was the only woman in the world. That's what a gentleman does. See, the gentleman ain't trying to keep his rotation in line because the other women know if he's not with me, he's probably with another woman, so I'm not going to distract him. And then the woman senses that he doesn't have to play games and go to the bathroom, hide on his phone, hide text messages, what you do. He's not playing that. When he's with his woman, he's got many of them, because the gentleman will have a lot of them. She's the only woman that matters. So Jagger was like that. Mick Jagger was like that. And the women who were models knew that, and they've said that. They were like, hey, shit, it is what it is. We knew he had all the girls, but when he treated me like this guy was sending them roses. Of course you can afford it. Roses, champagne, bottles of wine. He would toast them. When he was with them, he showed them the world. Remember, he sold them a fantasy. He showed them a fantasy. And they was able to say, in the fantasy world, the hour and a half, 2 hours I was with him, it was like a fantasy. All right? It was like a rom-com. It was everything they wanted. And then when he got what he wanted, he got the draws. He didn't kick her out. He didn't have to yell and scream. Gentlemen don't have to yell and scream at the broad. We always call it broad here. He don't have to yell and scream at the woman. All right? He just basically deals with them. Hey, you know what time it is? It's time to go. All right? I have to do what I need to do. I need to get to where I need to go. I need to be at my office. I need to be here. Gentleman's not going to give up his job all the time for his woman. But the gentleman's perfected the travel date. The gentleman is the guy that says, hey, meet me at the airport tonight. We got tickets. We going to Cancun. Let's go. And the woman goes, oh, my God. And she packs up her little travel suitcase. She packs up her little bikinis. And she's like, oh, my God. That's the gentleman. He can afford to do that. He's perfected the restaurant dates. He's not awkward. He has reservations. He knows where to go. When he goes there, everybody acknowledges him. Hey, how you doing, sir? You're back. And I see you got another beautiful woman with you. Oh, he's always surrounded by beautiful women. And he's like, thank you like that. Everybody knows him. They greet him. People come up to the table. Hey, sorry to bother you, but I realize you're that guy. And then the woman sitting there, man, who am I with? And so gentleman can lose value for himself and his time if he tries to fake this. But a real gentleman doesn't have to fake this. Now, reason why women create gentlemen is the result of doing and saying the right thing. So the man can do and say the right thing and get what he wants. Okay? He gets what he wants. And then if it doesn't uphold, he can just say, it didn't work out for us. It's time to move on. Right? There's no you hoe, you bitch, you move out my stuff, you back. There's no arguing back and forth with this guy. He's a bachelor. He presented himself as a bachelor. He presented himself as who he was. And you tried to potentially move in on him. And he said, you knew what time it was. We had a good time, right? I know you can't be mad that you had a good time. But you can't domesticate me. I'm not like that. You knew I was a bachelor. You knew, look at my pad. It's a bachelor pad. You knew I had this place needs a woman's touch. No, it doesn't. So the woman creates this because women love to hear words. And this man figured it out. She loves a man in the suit. He figured it out. She loves men that does this. Travel dates, flowers, champagne, twirling in the middle of the street with the street lamps on, dancing in the rain, right? He's perfected all of this. But the reason why women hate the gentleman, because he's a love him and leave him, he's a heartbreaker. So while the Chad and Tyrone never gets to her heart, he just imprints her, while the player and pickup artist basically finesses his way between her legs, the gentleman uses good old heartbreak to get and finish his women off. That's how he gets them. All right?
Damn, that's some truth right there. Yes, I assume gentlemen can be like heartbreakers. I know when I was younger, I'll be honest here, when I was younger, probably in my early 20s, I know I was in Hawaii, and it was a few women, but I'll say one in particular that I had hooked up with, and we had a nice time and stuff like that, and I was back at because I was in the Navy at the time, and I remember I was at my station, and she was like calling my station, and just like blowing up the phone, and I had like messages. And because I was young, I didn't know how to handle that. I just felt like overwhelmed, like, what do I do? This girl, I did like her, but she came on like way too strong. And in that way, I can understand with women how sometimes if a guy comes on too strong, it kind of like chases you away or makes you ghost him or something like that. And I ghosted that girl. And I always think back with that because, I mean, she seemed like a decent girl. I didn't really know her, but, I know she felt like used or something. And that was never my intention. And I wish I knew what I knew now, because otherwise I would have told her, like, girl, I like you, but you're coming on like a bit too strong. So, I'm going to see you this day or a day that I was available to see her, and or either later or something like that. And please don't keep blowing up my phone. And yeah, that would have been the proper way to handle it, but I didn't. I just ghosted the poor girl. And I'm pretty sure I got karma back for that because I know I got ghosted and stuff over the years. So sometimes I always think back with that one, but I didn't do it to be mean or to intentionally do it. I just didn't know how to handle that situation, and I wish I handled it better. But you live and learn. So there you go. I'm not so perfect. I made mistakes in my past, and sometimes I didn't treat people right. So I do feel bad about that. Now, some of the stuff that he said, like, he has girls and all that other stuff. I would say like I believe with a lot of men, unless if you are Chad and Tyrone, most of us start out as simps. Now, some of us will just stay there, and then we just start branching off into what works for us or something like that. Because I was raised in the church and stuff like that, I had like principles and moral things, but also, I guess, because I was exposed to different crowds of people, I tried a couple different things, and then I settled for what works for me. But and that's how I came to this right here. But I never had like a string of women. Now the thing is, though, I always knew a lot of women, and sometimes I was in the friend zone, but there was spaces sometime I was like dating, a girl here and a girl there, but I do put that on them because either they kind of didn't want a relationship, or either I guess maybe they was they was chasing after a Chad or Tyrone or something like that, and they kind of probably got me in to fill the space, like, because I know this different stuff now I know why certain women did certain things at certain times, and it makes more sense. But anyway, this video is almost over.
So while the Chad and Tyrone never gets to her heart, he just imprints her, while the player and pickup artist basically finesses his way between her legs, the gentleman uses good old heartbreak to get and finish his women off. That's how he gets them. Alright? The gentleman, yeah, somebody said the gentleman presses all the right buttons. He says all the right things. It's timely. It's eloquent. It's cultured. He takes her to her first art museum, and he knows the paintings on the wall. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's Da Vinci. Oh, look at this over here. He knows what to call out. He knows what sculpture is. He's cultured. He knows what freeways to take. Oh, we have a reservation over here. Oh, we need to be here at this time. Oh, we're going to the Hollywood Bowl. We're watching John Williams tonight. Who is John Williams? Oh, you know John Williams has the theme for Star Wars. He's got it coming there. There's a symphony. Oh, this person, he knows all of this, and he impresses the hell out of her. Now, low-quality women have no place with this man, and they will never qualify for a gentleman. They will never qualify for a gentleman because they're not gentleman-worthy material, and so thus they have to skip to the next guy. Thus, they have to skip. Now, the gentleman will always be her fantasy, but they'll never get one. They'll never get one because they're so worn out by these next guys that they'll never qualify for a gentleman. All right. Somebody said the gentleman fades into the mist. Yep, the gentleman's mysterious. He fades into the mist. He just says, and then he might call her back in a month. Hey, he might send her flowers. Hey, here's a flower there, a nice little note. Oh my God, I remember this guy. Yeah, hey, how you doing? I'm just catching up with you. 2 years later, he gets the draws again because he says the right things. Hey, why don't we get together and meet on Wednesday? Okay. You mean tomorrow? No, next Wednesday. He's got girls lined up in the calendar. Bump, 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 bump. And he just does the right thing at the right time. He says the right thing at the right time. And it's not even rehearsed.
Oh, boy. Lined up. Okay. Yeah, well, I wish. But, of course, though, I know that's a money thing. So, you know, I noticed the way when my money is rising, females are more accessible, and that's the thing too. Most gentlemen are bachelors, like they will never get married, like a George Clooney or something like that. You know, sometimes you can get them to settle down and stuff like that, but that's why I say I think in my case, you know, I was a gentleman, but I had some simp tendencies. So I think that's what kind of got me into some of my later relationships and stuff like that. You know, kind of like not trapped. I mean, I wanted to be there, but however, though, it just didn't work out how I wanted to work out. So, you know, and that's the thing too. You know, with a lot of men, they normally complain about, you know, they can't get sexual relations from their women and stuff like. I never had that problem. But see, that's the thing though. I don't mind spending time. I don't mind talking. I don't mind because I feel like I built more of a connection with the woman with those things and stuff like that. You know. So yeah, I mean, I never had like a rotation of women. Now, the only thing that I will say as like a warning, that's the one thing. Like, if I'm dating a woman that she plays no games, don't play no games with me, because if she's playing games, there's always another woman that I know that might be like, hey, you want to do something? And she's over here like playing games, mixed signals, that kind of stuff. I'm going to be like, you know what? I don't know what's going on over there, so I guess I will go over here. You know, as long as the person's like straight up with me and stuff like that, you know, I can stay focused on the one. But she started doing that little shit. Like, I just have no patience for that. So You know, especially now. When I was younger, you know, I probably would have kind of played the game thinking like, well, maybe I just need to do this or do that, or she needs reassurance and all this other stuff and stuff like that. I'm not overthinking no more. It's kind of like, well, either she wants to spend time with me or she doesn't want to spend time with me, and I can find another woman to spend time with me just in case I really need to spend some time. So that's the thing right there, you know. I know it's never my intention to play a woman, you know, because I know how that feels. You know, I really know how that feels. But, you know, I'm not going to get played myself. So that's a no. You might get me one time. Like, normally when I get played, I can't be played the same way because I'll see the warning signs already. So anyway, that's it. You know, I hope you enjoyed this one. Kind of threw myself under the bus, but you know, I'm slightly different than that one that he was explaining. But under the right circumstances, yeah, it can go just like that. And I believe gentlemen get more established when they get older, more experience, and they get more like financially set. So anyway, that's it. The next one is going to be the Pookies and the Ray Rays. Not sure when I'm going to do that one, but soon. Stay tuned. Okay, guys. I'll see you later.
You could not live with your own failure. Where did that bring you? Back to me.
I still wanna run to you. Am I breaking through? Do you feel me too?
Pendo made it.
I still wanna run to you.